That Namboyang is a same Anchi Sonza, and they also one layer. Young Ujong is Nikamakashi, Kanga Gomenda.
So first, maybe some of you are a bit tired today. So we're going to do a short breathing meditation to start the session.
Oh, that's so. That didn't Tamu number Sula. You say that Bloa, Nedri Gankova, cannot Sula you. And a Mancha the three cannot so Chiva. That three that Chiva Karina.
So first, just like yesterday, we're going to start with an exam. So you're going to give me an exam, testing how much you understood of today's teachings. And then we're going to have question and answers. And this is going to be most of this session we have today is going to be question and answers.
Yeah. That didn't three Yarmuchi, Tambo de la Garsonsina, Warna Silla, and a Korum Takpinawa, Takpinawa, or Tanachi Joni, the Milo Yamares, in the Cotes, the name of Chitica, Sanji Chundendi, and you could do Sanji Chundendi pay to Nibushuna songs.
To Nibushuna,
Yarmuchi.
Nibushuna,
Gabushi was same goes.
The
Sanji Chundendi, Marzemada, Sanji Chundendi, Yarmuchella, Gabushuna, Son, two Nibosina,
Come on,
two Nibosina, two Zena, same Segura. Yarmu Karza, Sanji Chundendi, Gires, Yarmuch Kunik, Jesons. That they no then Judigalas, Sanji Chundendi. Yarmuchella, Gabushbo, Tacho, Tunibo, Magona, Gabushbona, Sons.
So the first thing that His Holiness talked about today, so he talked about a time that he was in Varanasi, the city of Varanasi, and he had an experience of pure perception, something called pure perception, and he went to a place where there was a statue of Buddha Shakyamuni, and Buddha Shakyamuni, not in a dream. He said it was not a dream, not like in a dream. So Buddha Shakyamuni actually came to him through this, and was very happy with His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Sanji Junda Digo, and Yarmuchella, and the Gabushbo Nayati, Subukarez, Yarmuchella. Katu in the Sanji Chunda de Sombi, Tombonica Coratan, and a Silver Sango, Te Yamne, Lotela Lojon, and Yamne, Shichimbochi Yosonza, Teletene, Sanji Chunda Digo, Gabona.
And why was Buddha Shakyamuni happy with His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Why was he pleased to meet with His Holiness the Dalai Lama? His Holiness today said that the main cause is because of the practice that His Holiness has of this view of emptiness, this wisdom of emptiness, and the warm heartedness, the good heart that he practices. So because of the high levels of this practice, mainly because of this, Buddha Shakyamuni was happy.
Yeah. 다 텔레테니 아주 가르하고 투그레 라바이나 가르시고그레 람나 인지무지 건조라야가 등이 보나로지 초바부 소와다 드니 무슨 마지나 디그레스 돈다 소수 라로 소수가 셈바상보지 소수가 강도치도 그 로종다 냠내 야보지 소수가 돈다 가제시에당 삼로당당 자와제당 상마도 야고야고지 되어나 란싱그 건조이나 등이로 가보지 그래 아니 수이마 있나요 소소라 가보니 부지 거래스.
And what can we understand with the story that he told us today? That we don't need to, even if we don't need to go make offerings to the three jewels, to go make offerings to the Buddha, to pray for the Buddha so that they may like you and for you to be a follower of the three jewels. If we have this practice inside ourselves, if we, from our side, we do this practice, we take care of our minds, not only our minds, but we take care of the way that we talk to other people, we care about our activities. If all of these are pure, then naturally, these objects, the three jewels is going to be pleased with us.
Yeah.
For example,
아마 지금 그런 거 부부라 배 세워식 친구요 되니까 아마 네가 그런 거 부부 되게 아미 코솔라 말라야 돼 야고치에 되나 돈다 부부 되니 자와 야고치에 아마라 무시가 야 고르모도 이미 마 칼라다 고르모디니 마테와 있나요 부부 그런 거 자와 야고치에 되나 아마 란싱그 배 가고 용도.
For example, just like a mother, usually a mother has a lot of love and care for her son or her daughter, for her child. And even if her child is not giving her money, or her child is not giving her food or serving her, just by the child having a good actions, just by the child acting in a proper way, happiness comes to the mind of the mother.
Yeah. 내가 내가 지 가르소소 지디가나 상계의 템바세야데 사강다 드린 하나요 말레스 다 오늘 가와요레는 나르초 간사 수수수수 줄라야 요레스.
And also he said that the teachings of the Buddha, they're not in the temples, they're not in the monasteries, they're inside our own heart and mind.
돈다 가르레지디가 나로 수수고 셈마상보체 소소고 자와상보체 되나 다 돈라무니 소소고 줄라야 상계의 템바세야데
And what is the meaning? That if you practice this warm heartedness, if you practice a good heart, then the teachings of the Buddha, they abide within your mind stream. And within the teachings of the Buddha, we say there are the scriptural teachings and the realizational teachings.
돈다 산지 때문에 소소기라 따르데요레스 따르요레스 소소기라 산지 때문에 요레라.
So the meaning here is if a person practices the three higher trainings, then it said that the teachings of the Buddha, the Dharma teachings, they spread within the mind stream of this person.
Yeah. 오늘 라바송그 냠내세나 가르레스. 나저 간이 제고레람나 담보들라 소소 미상보치다 미약보치 제고레스.
And what are these three higher trainings? So the first of one says you need to be a good person.
니바다 미 장보치 제고레스.
The second one,
장보다 뎀바치.
the second one is you need to be a sincere, a straight person.
다 숨바데 가르레지디간 미 대제 미샹다 간 고코르탄 쇼쇼 많이 봐 대제 가레라 이나테 삼로기야 쳔보탄 탐니지바이나 돈라 라바송그 냠내세.
The third one is to be a person that's not easily fooled by other people, and to be a person that is able to think in a vast, extensive way.
야. 야 내가 지가르소소지디간 산지 쳔덴디가 템바세아테 데바 참 주마레스 돈다 템바도 주송고요레데 이나야 데바 주마레스 딱 가르주레스 디간 주부대 산지 쳔덴디가 아니 템바세아테 주대 삼로다 깨바치 아주 깨고 지금도 어디가 돈이 주운도야 지래도.
And he was saying also that in the teachings of the Buddha, the most important is not faith. Faith is something very important, but it's not the main thing inside the teachings of the Buddha. The main thing is this analysis, is this investigation, is this questioning that's related to the analytical meditation we were talking yesterday.
아니 다 강사 세야지 맞아 소소를 서로지 용요래스 대 용데 간래야 오늘 땅다 강사 간디지니 요래스 근데 진짜 삼로 당원데 갈라 코 아니 그 주주사로 나 대인 제안도 오지가 주주사 라고 말해스 또다 다돈전이 이해가 말이야 송송.
For example, here, if we look at ourselves, so there is an I, there is a person here. We have this feeling of an I, and if we ask ourselves, how does this exist? How does the I exist? And then we point our fingers and we try to find something that we can point our fingers to, and we're not going to find something that we can point our fingers and say, this is I.
오나 다 되게 다돈전이 많이 보이는가 매발에 왜서는 매발 말이야.
And even if we cannot find the ultimate thing that we can point our fingers and say there's the I, does it mean that it doesn't exist? No, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
오늘 간이진이 요래라는 때니 딱비 수지 요래.
And how does it doesn't exist? So it doesn't exist because it's depending on something. It is imputed. It is imputed by the mind.
그래서 다스도 쓰이는 직등 땅아주 토몽기 야 아주 미 토몽기 가르서 조세 가와도 내레스 조세 가바 아니 다차르사 알로레 고 미시디가 다가랑기 미당 조세 다가랑 뭔지 제토고 요리 마도 미드 가레 레레레레레니 디차시사니
For example, way that we analyze in our daily lives in the conventional way of seeing things, so we can say, oh, this is where is the table? Here's the table. Where's the computer? Oh, here's the computer. Where is the plant? Here's the plant. So when we are living our lives, our way of seeing things is not checking, oh, in the parts of the plant to see where's the plant and not finding a plant.
Yeah. 근데 이 sonza 마루솔에 추가니 지나용 바이나야. 나와 나신도 돈라 요르베스는 나와 나신 돈라 요마레스.
So whatever appears to us, whatever phenomena appears to us, whatever object, the way that this object appears to us, does it exist? The way it appears to us, it doesn't exist.
나와 나신도 돈라 메바이나 메바리베스나 메바 마레스.
But because this object doesn't exist the way it appears, does it mean that it doesn't exist? No, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
베나데나 자포르 시디간 고 자포레 시디간 다 자포르 메나 디나라 출리 자리능에 동야로 딘디 베조 롱고 마레 고 요요리 요바 있나요 맞올라 나와 나신지게 돈이 요리베스나 요.
For example, with this cup, if we say that this cup doesn't exist, so then there's nowhere that I can put this water, and there's no way that I can drink this hot water right now. So we say the way that it's appearing to us, it doesn't exist, but it doesn't mean that it's completely non-existent.
야. 다 딘디가 소소 지금 추간이 지금 나와 있는 말라 나와 나신데 죽고요 말. 가래라바 이나 가르 소양 삼로지 갈당 그래서 말이야 트나만 보지 용구요레스. 어디게 전에 말라 나와 나신데 죽 메레스. 가르치레스 말라 트나.
And how do we have to think? How do we have to think? So we have to see that things, the way that they're appearing to us, is not reality. It's not the way that things actually exist. And why is that? Because in our minds right now, to our perceptions, there are many illusions. There are many illusions happening.
당저 소소라 나와 나신데 죽고 말해서 하도다. 아니 다가 나신 그 때니 답이 쓸기 요래서 하도서 아주 당보 몰라야 돼. 제깔이 가고 요래서.
It's hard to go deep into our minds. It's hard to go into our minds when to think that the way that things exist are not the way that appear to us, and the way that they exist is only depending on something they are imputed. It's only by imputation. That's hard to sit well within our minds. But even if it's hard for us to have a good understanding of this, through studying and getting habituated and creating habits, slowly becomes easier to understand it.
나와 따르다가라 축간이지 나와 상다 니 축간이지 나와 따르다 주니 죽고 매삼이 돌아야 삼로양이한테 계란소 니버드 당야도 기침보레스 데 당와이나 아니 지 착심식 첨보당 아니 공도식 첨보도 용거 말레스
So necessarily on a daily basis, we have to constantly think the way that the things appear to us, the way that I perceive things in my life, it's not reality. It's not, things are not exactly how they appear to my mind. And the more we can think of this in our daily basis and we create this habit, the weaker and weaker it goes attachment, the weaker and weaker it goes anger.
다 대단 냠도 가르에서 디간라 삼바상보스 다 고르그 장치고 셈셈이 송송 있나 양아로서 니마레레레야 가르치 고리에서 아젠달레 펜강 토토 가르스님의 페마토나니 안노 촌님지 삼 딘디지 삼로지 땅대와는 델레 문이 삼바상보 세야데 차고리 제가 디니 가도 있나 소소 델레야 삼로당 제고리에서 좋아.
And together with this, what do we need to practice? We need to practice this good heart. So usually we can also say bodhicitta, we can say to practice bodhicitta, but basically if we practice this good heart, which means basically to constantly have this thought, I will try to benefit other people, I will try to do good in the world, I will try to benefit other people, I will try my best not to harm people. So if we have these two thoughts together, that's very good.
Yeah. 다데니 게침보 나니 침보지 양 가라송송데 다 나로나 드리양 펜도 제쇼데 가르에지 디간라 아니 나로서 춘추갑라 파미 그 잠제데 가서 초 툭고 요레스 춘추갑라 파미 가서라 잠종나 가서야 침보 자기 요레 춘추갑랴 파미 잠종도 소소라 기침보 임바데 가서 초르고 요레스.
So something that he said today, a very big thing that he said, and for me personally, it was the most beneficial thing that he said that when we, in our childhood, when we were born, there is someone that takes care of us, our father, mother, our parents, and we experience, in the beginning of our lives, we have this experience of the love of our mother and father.
이마이나 양아르초 아니 로데야 제르로 다 로체와다 냠도 로종데 mambo 제요레 로종 mambo 라기요레스.
But as we grow older and with each passing year, we start to study, we get more education, and we study and we grow older.
대인선상 아르초 디리산이 로종 대단데 가르레스. 주 제쇼데 치 우보 그 토라 짱짱 그 로종 제니 카치 치티즈나 디고도 야나 치 우보 짱짱 그 토라 대 야지 땅땅 간디 고도 디그 간라 짱짱라 로종 데 대샤고요.
And nowadays, what is the main way of education in our world? So the main thing in our education nowadays is about things on the outside. So how things on the outside exist, how do they arise, how are they destroyed, etc. So mainly about the things on the outside.
다지 벤저라 소바다 수간라 수수가 삼로도 배식 전부 로샤디 간이야. 다 가르레스 디가 다 파마다 수도 바리건 데와디나 데와디 쭈르 두르 하고서 데와 쭈르 그래 파미 소소라 잠종치야도 소여나 담보 지르 로샤고요레스.
And also together with this, as thinking constantly in this direction of economy and financial gains and about the outside, together with this, we also start to lose our relationship, our connection to our parents. And we start to forget about this love, to forget about this care that we received in our childhood. If you think about this is, can you feel this experience? Do you have the same experience?
가가래 땅앞에 교방님 바인 송사 바일 데비 가래야 아니 미라 콘도 돈이 배 잠지고 되듯이 아니 아마가 가가래 동 아니 배 초등당 되듯이 아마라 배 칼레로니 배 저랑라 지도 가려래 되니 배 sik득자 되라 단당한 배 뭐니 니 셈래 배 나기도.
For example, for me, when I think about this, it comes a very strong feeling in my mind, in my heart. Because when I was in Tibet, when I was younger, I was actually a very aggressive. I was always getting into fights, getting into problems. I was a very hard child. And my mother, sometimes she would beat me. Sometimes she would tell me harsh words. And what did I do at this time? I did the same thing. I also replied her with harsh words. I also said many bad things to her. And nowadays, when I think about these things that I did, my heart hurts so much.
제가 뒤에서 들이 여러분 제가 송해야 되다. 네가 제당 다다 정말라 여러분 제가 다다 그런 거 대체 마스 저는 주주의 아미 잠정고 돈이 야소레스 이마에는 저는 치르 어디 가나 저는 아마 아미 잠세 tem버지 아마라야 측득 장담다 되니 라비오레바스 되니 지능알아야 카드 여러분 카드.
So today, when His Holiness he talked about this, I felt like he was talking directly to me. He was telling me, you see, your mother, she took care of you. When you were a child, when you were a baby, she fed you, she took care of you, she did everything for you. She put clothes on you, etc. And then as you grew older, you started to forget about her love. You started to forget about her care. And because of this forgetfulness, because you couldn't keep this in mind, then you replied to her with these bad words, etc. So you did this, right? And I felt that he was telling to me, you did this, right?
제가 수소야 치른 로바다 수소라 로종 마른 로용디 간 파마다 원이잖아 파마다 수소 바리건 델름도 야르 베 로고야 고리 임바이나 가서 딜이 도데 델름 큐르 로샤야데 다데 로종 때당근 드기요 말이스.
So actually, when we progress in our education, our studies, this connection, we should feel the connection with our parents becoming closer, becoming actually stronger. But what usually happens is that it becomes more distant, weaker, and this means that the way that education is happening is not okay.
Yeah. 다 드리산이 다 줄이라 마티미 상주. 줄이라 마티미 상. 다 줄이라 마티미 상주. 하진 그 기침버리스. 가르레스 치가 빈줄야지 땅땅 그 로종대 양아처럼 고그레스. 임바이나 대단 냠도 너가 삼로 땅땅 삼로 상초대 야지 땅야가 로종대 양아처럼 고고요 송다. 다 드리산이 가서 봐봐 줄이다 마 줄이라 마티미 상주. 하진 그 뒤 로종 하진 그 기침버리스 송.
And nowadays, something that is very important in the world regarding education is the secular studies, so secular education, because this education also that we have in the world regarding external things and technology, etc., it's important. We need this, but this is not enough. Together with this, we also need to have these studies regarding how to bring about happiness to the mind, regarding the inner realm. So we need this in a secular way to be presented.
당원에 가르쳐 다 니만이래야 아니 오말 한드그 돌래야 손주 근데 시비 다 소소가 맞세게 나올라 키야지 근데 저런 전에 망치야도 로춘주 장냐인 송자 단다 직제나 파마니가 위식요니 가시 양 파마니 강요로 와지 단다 위식요니 근데 요제래 근데 연송자 당아서 때 소소삼로 제와지 당위 더니 다 드리니 송데 단다 여러분이 디가 로 가서 갈로데 소소심 디라잖아 야 드리니 송데 니모니 소소 파마 위식요바이나 대단제와야 오 직제이나 아 삼모로 디급에 냠네 직제 샤바이나 당원이 니모니래 깔리 겸니 나도 손주시야 돼 오늘 팬도 전부 종요.
So now we have just attended 2 days of teachings on the entering the middle way, auto commentary by His Holiness Dalai Lama. So if there's one thing that we can carry with us from these 2 days, from all the advices and teachings that His Holiness gave, this one about if you can just from today onwards, I will make my relationship with my father and mother better. Most of you're very young, so I think most of you still have your father and mother or one of them. So if from today you can, from everything that he said, if you can take this of from now on, I'll try to have a good relationship with my parents, then whatever effort, whatever problems you encountered going to the teachings and tiredness, it's very worth it, still very beneficial, just with this advice.
Yeah. Dine yanchi karasuna pranayam da dirisani disonde chochi disope dikyanok chires ta unirewaya also nasa nayam ramanda yungundu amat ramanda yungundu ta khori dirisani khori hajang shiana so changorwa.
So he said that from one side, the times that we live, this world that we're living nowadays, it's very bad. And that might be the case, because we can think there's so many diseases nowadays. There was this pandemic. There's also wars happening in the world, and also the environment nowadays is not in a very good state. And all of these problems, all of these things, they basically, the main cause for them is this greed inside the minds of people. So because of this greed, many of these things happen. Yeah, but also because we have these opportunities to study, to practice the teachings, to improve our minds, then this is because of a very good luck, of good merits. And something also that he said is that the extreme importance of analytical meditation, like we were talking yesterday about stabilizing meditation, analytical meditation. Actually, both of them are important. So we have to have this union of analytical meditation, stabilizing meditation. But he was emphasizing the importance of analytical meditation, because only stabilizing meditation doesn't have the power to change your mind, doesn't have the power to eliminate afflictions. So in order to actually change your mind, then it's very important, the analytical meditation. And if you do a lot of analytical meditation, what's going to happen? You're going to get a lot of doubts. And with how many doubts come, also many questions come. And if you get a lot of these questions, and you also meet with people that you can ask these questions, if you have this opportunity, then if you do this, then you have the opportunity to eliminate your doubts. What did we say yesterday? That the two main things that are causing us problems is self-grasping and the self-cherishing mind. And if we think of self-grasping mind or the self-cherishing mind, it's not something that we point and we try to find. It's something that is inside us. And what is the way for us to eliminate the self-cherishing mind? So it is habituation, this practice of this mind that wishes to benefit others, that wishes to accomplish the purpose of other sentient beings. And today we had this meditation, maybe you recall, with the white moon and the dorje, the vajra on top. So what are those? What he was guiding was, the moon was about eliminating the self-cherishing mind, considering yourself as extremely more important than others. And this vajra here was the antidote, was related to the antidote to the self-grasping mind. So in practice, in practice, in actuality, what's the benefit that we get by training ourselves, by habituating ourselves to this mind that wishes to benefit other beings? So our health, in practice, our health becomes better, our face becomes more attractive, we become more attractive to other people.
Oh yeah. 대양 가르레 시티가나지 계란가라 가보서로지다야 미케나라 골모트용 잘라네트용 카바트용 남나 다지드 파쇼티 계란라 심티니 가보 제 카고레 소소.
If we use other methods for other people to like us, for example, I come here and I give him 2,000 rupees and I say, please like me, and I give you this. He might like you, but for him to, from the deep of his heart, to like you, that's hard to get that.
가득데디다 투지 배 투지 라그러봐 이나 잡로 판르디 야 미 포쇼 떼니도 콘도서인 건갈에 가반도데 제가지고 미 디까요 라우도.
If someone gives me a phone, for example, I'm gonna say, oh, thank you so much, please, thank you for this phone. But if later I turn my back and then maybe later this person gets angry at me or gets angry, what am I gonna think? Oh, this person is not so nice, not so.
근데 오늘 시다 마트와이나 미들 합성 남다 세마상보치 이와이나 아니 미 동바디디아 다시 되는 오늘 라 아니 야로도데 아 미드베 오늘 통대고 미드베 랑지 시간 잠보 미야고지 누다 진 삼이 또라당도.
And if someone has this altruistic mind, the person even doesn't give us anything, but the person just comes and say, hey, tashidle, hello. And then after we turn our backs, what we think? We think, oh, that seems like a good person, seems to have a good heart, good character, and we basically like the person.
Yeah. 다 초치드 가르레즈디 갈라 단슨 거니 몰라야 다음에 또 비셔로인 손서 단슨 세야들이야 다드 칼리 난거레스 코르게 칙 때베죠 당서 나 링 본로지 난거요레스 단슨 나 링 라그 링알링 나 링 야나가 상상와
So basically to the self-grasping mind, what is the antidote here? To the self-grasping mind is going to be this wisdom of selflessness. So the wisdom of selflessness is the antidote to the self-grasping mind. So we think about self-grasping, right? So what is self? I, we can also say, what is this I? And when we think of this I that is being mentioned here, this I is basically the I that can stand by himself, an I that can stand completely alone.
제가 되어서 단zel이야 나다 나위 마침바지 나가 간래야 드롭다니 나 링링보세 나 칙토파세 다 도나 나 라원와 딘디지 나온디 간래 대 나와 나신데 요리 베즈는 메인 손사 다음에 봐.
So basically this I that is able to appear as something by itself, as something independent, as something that we can feel that it's by itself, this I doesn't exist. That's why where it comes selflessness.
Dini sonza keranzo pena tesoso keranzo jobo jomoda dinile yimbayina chojini samba zambo jeshos ani chojini sozolaji nawa najin de tukumare sambi te samlo yabo tan shos ta digala khazanga so chojini ha tendela samlo tan dini chebayina ngoni sozo go simla te zinjirwando ya ya sozo te simbo koyombo chaya.
So basically, if we synthesize into 3 points, so basically towards your close ones, your friends, your family, you try to have a good heart, you try to benefit, you try to help, you try to be a good person. Second one, you familiarize yourself with this thought. The way things appear to me, it's not the way the things actually are. And also what we were discussing yesterday about keeping in mind the interdependent origination of things. If we keep these 3 thoughts in our minds, really it's very beneficial.
Oh yeah. That dini tanchen nanjo ke semji za te nga so tanda gomyida. Ta ki nga so sonchu nan ya tanchen nanjo ke semji gomyore. Tanda yang so ngiberto tanchen nanjo ke semji te gomyai. Ndeshi didichi chan so kamakashi la gongo.
Okay, so just like we have practiced this all-encompassing yoga, that's how it's called, all-encompassing yoga, the practice that His Holiness did with us today with the moon and the Vajra. So just like we did, I'm going to explain a little bit right now, and we also do this practice right now.
다 탐전 난주가 샘지에서데 수치쇼도 가르에지디가나 장주가 샘당 다음에 또 비시로니들라 donda 탐전 난주가 샘지에서디
So basically, this all-encompassing yoga, this practice. So basically, what's the main thing here? So it's going to be bodhicitta, the practice of bodhicitta, and also the practice of the wisdom of selflessness. I thought I'm going to do a circle, but I'm just finding out it's not so simple. Oh, so think that this is a So basically what you have to visualize a circle kind of like this, white, or maybe we can use also this circle here on top of our heads. And you're going to visualize it close to your heart here. You visualize this moon, this white circle. And a Vajra, maybe, do you know what's a Vajra? Yes. So basically the Vajra, you visualize it standing up on the top of the moon, a white Vajra.
Yeah.
And how are we going to meditate on this? So the first thought that you should have, the first thing now to meditate is, just like me, and also me, and all other sentient beings, all other people, we are exactly the same in one thing. And what is this? We all want to be happy, we want happiness, and we all want to be free from suffering. We don't want suffering.
Yeah.
And thinking of this reason that we all want to have this happiness, we all want to be free from suffering, we don't want any suffering. So because all this means they're just like me in this nature, so now we think, may happiness come to all these beings, may they be free from their sufferings.
Yeah. Inaya ngala tanda niba mewa ina ngan tindiga niba yosa kansa chi chaya yor nge lobchong chi nyamlen chena ngaya tindiga pe centombo niba yosa kansa chi chaya sona nge kosola lobchong chi bi thoni devi gyu dotang dungur ku gyu sertang tata chi ton tu yo sona ngangi tendi chei sambi semshi chi kena tonda taki chanchu ku sem dawa karbo go karbo.
And then what we have to think, so all of this suffering, all of this happiness, how do they come about? They come about through causes and conditions. And now, do we have we want to help all people, all sentient beings to achieve this happiness. So they have to create the causes of happiness. They have to eliminate or abandon all the causes of suffering that they are accumulating. But now, do we actually have the power, the capacity to help all these people? Now it's hard to say. We don't have this capacity. So, but we can, if we study, if we practice, if we get used, if we go on this path, we can become someone more and more. We can become someone that, through giving advices, through talking, through teaching, through showing the way, we can help more and more people to find the causes of this happiness, to discover what are the causes of suffering, and to make them abandon. So thinking like this, that you have to get this, then you get the feeling, you get the determination. I am going to do this. I am going to become this person that is able to help sentient beings. And this thought, this feeling, you put in your heart as this white moon, as this circle, this white moon.
Yeah. That individual Hapsam Dan Dembi, Samba Zambote, Sosogandi, Ninga Lea, Animo Carbo, Chichason, Sambi Tony, Mazo, Tambo, Monlea, Ani Kunzo Chanchi, Sams in the Dudo, Jamban, Chanchi send the Kumia.
So this altruistic mind that we generate, so this this transforms into this white moon. And we visualize this white moon now in our hearts. And this is the conventional bodhicitta, or you can say the mind that benefits other beings. And then we stay with this moon now for a few minutes.
Holiness. 다 말해서 그런 장주고 셈되지. 다 돈도 장주고 셈되 가르레스 때다기 도지 가보 쟁아와데 데 오카르보디 칸야한데 랑다 수수 니가들 공고 요소 다 대주도 돈이 도비 셰럽 세나데 다 다기 나 랑랑보 나 나온디 칸야 맞을래야 나 측토바 나 랑옹와지 낭 낭기요 데 나와 낭시 데 춘 매 지등가 chen 나요 간데네 사기도 나기도 임바이 나야 나 딘디가 랑왕 나 측도 빠지 싸와니네 매 삼비 딘디 지삼로 당비 토니 딘디가 삼로데 단디 도지체 가보 쟁아바데 다기 오카보디 간다 야르진 탑스 요섬 이바데 딘디치고.
So now for the ultimate bodhicitta. So this now is going to be the white vajra that we put on top of this white moon, and this white vajra has five legs or 5 parts to it. So it's this white vajra. And this white vajra, what do we have to think related to the wisdom of selflessness? So this I that we have, that appears to us to be something that can exist by itself. It's something that can be alone by itself. This I, it appears to me. I see that it appears to me. But the way that it appears, it doesn't exist. Completely doesn't exist. And this thought, this insight transforms into this white vajra on top of the moon.
That's 다 덴디가 소소가 장주고 셈되다 돈이 도비 셰럽데 땀 빼고는 소소 빼지 셈쟁가 돈 타다 지 소소가 돈다이나 지 참아들 만루 파도 땅에 때빼디 남데 땅금에 가디나 냠니 지 삼비 담자지지.
And now we can make an aspiration, we can make a commitment for the benefit of others, to achieve other beings' purpose, and also to achieve my own purpose, I'm going to take this bodhicitta, this practice of this altruistic mind, and I'm also going to take this practice of the wisdom of selflessness and practice.
That's all.
Okay, so now you can make questions.
I have a question.
That's all.
So Geshe was talking about, that when we look at a cup, it's not that a cup does not exist, but how we perceive the cup. How we understand the cup does not really exist, right? I'm not being able to say in the exact words which you said, and it really made me think that basically, how we see something is not what it is, right? How we perceive something, right? So in that sense, if we have to apply such understanding to real life, I just want to ask Geshe. So suppose if a person has told us harsh words or has behaved, in a negative way, in a harsh sense. So in that situation, should we apply the concept which just Geshe told us? Should we apply that concept?
Okay. Thank you. Kaptin me pa mare yure ina yang nawano shin yomare dinge koson ani yang ngan so mitse gewe gavla ni gavla mi ngaran so da tik tu jalam na yana chawa ya po me pa chena ngan so di pejatang korebe di pento yorebe di indasam la tauna.
Yes.
Yes, very beneficial to think like this.
Karelawina, Matsu Geshe Jatam. Pajoni Sozola Tsikalabatan, Migi Sozola Noba Kion the Kana, Genda the money Shanda Chegore. Imba Yinayang, Sozoga Samlo Tamanashing Pay Geshe Jatam, 100 to Kore, Samni de Dewaina. Did Nazo Jambu Chago.
Jambu Chayomare.
Taking out Jambu Gores, Jambu the Demba Gores at you are. Geshe Ja Kore, Zin Lavshana.
Yeah, because for example, let's say many times, let's say someone says very harsh words for us, and that hurts us. So yeah, the condition for this person that said the harsh words, it's a condition for this situation to arise. But the way we see it, sometimes we see that 100% it was the fault. It came from this person, this harm. But can we say that it came 100% from this person? If we analyze, that's not a very sincere, very honest way of looking to the situation.
Yeah. Pena Kares the Kog Duka Sozola Lava on the Gana Junju, as a Junju. Sozola Junju on the Gana. Sozo Tambo de la Cola Condo Matevaji, Kog Nala Junju. In that Dijon the Nala do Mundu Samlota. Samlotani. Sozola Junjuna. Ko kaje demba tona ko kano yabo yona mena sozo de kyondo yona sozo tambu sozo de kyondo jurwa tam wi toni tini kale kole pa le bolona te ni jure.
Because for example, when someone criticizes us, so we can have the tendency of retaliating, of returning the bad words. But if we have a different way of thinking, and if we hear the criticisms and instead of getting this revenge, or we think, oh, do I have this faults in my mind? Is it true? And if it's actually true, then yeah.
Okay, Kaza ngobo pinzo kanzadana langi ngaron the migi junju di chengola.
Before in the class in the library, I told you about the guy, the person that in the online classes, the person said many criticized me a lot in the chat room.
And in meeting all the Carla Chenganala. Pay like a dog, pay no Mindus, don't pay the cousin dog. Don't Mindus, Copen don't get a chas.
What is the first thing that he said in the chat room in my class? He said, His teacher is so ugly.
고 이게 돼야고 고민이.
His accent, his voice is not clear. I don't understand.
로트야고 제시금도.
He doesn't know how to teach.
아니 가르레라나 가방고래 이게 지니 코라팅엘에 알라니 되기도.
And then he writes all these things in the whiteboard, and then he stands right in front of the whiteboard.
카카민도 트라바레 와스.
It's not his fault. He's a monk.
나라.
He told me.
아니 가 삼로단데 덴버레 난 동님버레.
And I thought, that's true. Yes. I am ugly. Yeah.
까 깨고문도 직제나 대야 덴버레. 가르세니 까깔레 파이케 마모자피가나코 니케다 곰디메나 코야고 고만.
And he cannot understand me. That's also true, because I have an accent. I have my regional accent in Tibetan, and if he's not used to this accent, then he's not going to understand.
Then lotte 제시금도 나라테 펜도 제시 가래 lotte 제시금도 가르바나 이게 띵원나 야랑게도자 다땡야 페모시고 아니 디사이닝에 가르본거라 이게티 아니가 가르본거 달라이 알라니 예 띵주로다니 나는 펜도죠 그럼 삼로 디자이나 가리나 나치도메 이나에 띵나는 펜도죠.
And what was the most beneficial for me? The most beneficial was him saying, you don't know how to teach. Because exactly, I was writing in the whiteboard, and I was standing in front of the whiteboard. So what happened after all these criticisms? I wrote in the whiteboard, and I stood to the side of the whiteboard. So it was beneficial for me. It doesn't matter what intention he had, his motivation. If you had a bad or a good motivation, that doesn't matter. To me, it was only benefit.
나 그런 거 담아대. 그 로트 제시금도 가르스나 트라바레 와서야 돼. 데마말 페나 야르무치 트라바레. 이나 야르무치 트라바다 로트 제마시나 야르무치 로트 제시금 말이람나 대단문이 자문인 그 엔디 마모 가보지 그 로트 제시니 콜라 가보지고라. 이나 나테 렌티오 말이다니.
But the last thing he said is not true. The last thing he said that, oh, it's not his fault. It's because he's a monk. So that is not true, because His Holiness Dalai Lama is also a monk, and we cannot say that he doesn't know how to teach. In the whole world, he's teaching so much, and people are like him, so we cannot say that.
제가 뒤에서 니팅 갈라고요스나 소소라 균주지 니치비 갈라 람사파 콘로 말랑와치 삼로치다 소소라 디균도 요메 이 요나 소소 지로와 당기 제와이나 소소라 벤도거래 돼 마도 가상 나서 뒤 소주나로 알고.
So what I'm saying is, when people criticize you, so instead of just retaliating back, so first take a look at the situation. What's the real situation? Do I have these faults or not? And then eventually you can use this only to your benefit.
술 파쇼디 소소라 노바 딘디 제온디 갈라 소소 디간라 콘도사샤나 소소라 강에니레스 강에니.
If when someone harms you and you respond to this with anger, then you have two problems.
가르레스데 콩알라 어누바 지비 강이지 소소 셈바 마치비가 바 콘도사는 셈바 기보 마라 강에니.
I had the problem of his harm, so he harmed me, so I received this harm. And on top of this, my mind also got very unhappy because I got angry.
그래서
Okay, any
Follow-up
follow-up question? Okay.
follow-up question, Geshe, I'm still a little confused because in that particular situation, if we cannot perceive, I mean, if we think that, okay, the reaction coming from the other side might not be what it is. So what do we do after that? In the sense that, okay, if somebody is reacting in a particular way, in a negative way, we think it immediately we perceive as negative, and we feel bad about it. But if we have to think that what we are seeing is not what it is, then what is the next step? In the sense that, what do you do about the situation? Because for human nature, we want to understand the person, where it's coming from. Is it, what can be the causes and conditions, that at least we'll have some idea that this person reacted because of these particular reasons. To have some kind of a grasping of something that exists in some way, the reaction which exists. So what do we do after that?
Pinagginangana sa dasamlotana nawa ng shin tinda yomare ngasoti nawa ichemachena ani pina mi krijawa dujayana ani karina. Namyaran so di hako kore ngaso gyugen kari yore kari yongire na ichima chena and ingana so di nawana shin yomere sondotana and di chena kari chegore di chawa sambore chawa du jare vertical just
하고 나와 나신 이치마제 라군도마도 이치마제 라군도 단다 이치마제 자다다 나와 나신데 돈라 메바인 소자 데 데마만진 라군도마도 제가 이치마제 라군도 텔레티나 하고레스 뭔가 조카라스 소소기 강 니가 강 통하다 니가 강 거와들 빼 젬바식 쳔모 요비 토네 따가랑 고와 따가랑 인샤 제샤 어디니 마제라 오르마도 제동이 전에 따가라래 얘가 있나 누가 있나 뒤에다 상황 가서 신고 그래.
So when we say when I said that things, the way that things appear to you, that's not the reality. That's not the reality. So you don't take them as truth. You don't grasp at the way that you perceive things, the way you are perceiving things. You don't grasp at it as the truth, as the reality. You don't do this. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust your perceptions. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust your analysis, etc. Because we still, in regards, for example, what you were saying about the bad reactions, the bad behaviors, or the good behaviors, we need to understand these things, and we need to analyze, and we need to know these things.
그 대보 돈이 시바이나 다 돈다 가르서 저런 게 니는 토마타데 텔라 게셰 야타바 이치마치스 니가 꼬마타데 저런 게셰 야타바데 타조진이 디질라 마지스 가르서 저런 게 담보 나서 미인송다 따게 야고지 제쇼스 문이래 무연에 따래 누누 따게 지치 따게 집이 돈이 따가랑 무연에 따이나 이치치 무연에 따마이나.
So basically, in an easy to understand and easy to practice way is whatever comes to your eyes, whatever you see, whatever you hear, don't take it at the start as 100% truth. Don't take this as reality. So first, get into the habit of analyzing and analyze what is the actual situation. If it's reality, then trust it, then follow it, then take it as truth. If it's not reality, if it's reality. I lost myself a bit, but I think you could understand. Indeed, there's a very big first maybe. So now can you say in English your question, just for them?
So my question is, when we practice, we need to be like patient, and when we have problems, then we need to be patient. And then the other point is like, we shall not let people make fool of us.
Yes.
And then I asked if there is a, how to say, the line. What is the line between these two? And then if we think of the other side, if we be patient too much, then it will become like ninja is like wrong perception of compassion. So what is
그래서 오야 대배 가르에서 가서 소바곰 시리가나 아니 양 미망보지 가르코도 그래 파쇼 수술은 gorkortana 수술은 노바 가르친 수술 배 가고지 맞니 가디는 코코라 굴리 대고에로 삼로던 데 세고만.
Yeah, so that's very important, because many people, when they hear about the practice of patience, when they study about this, what do they understand? They understand that whatever harm comes, whatever bad people come, you have to get into the corner and be like this and just accept everything. You just take everything.
Yeah. 다 소바곰 시리 가르라고 그래서 미국 파쇼디 제나라 노바치 견주치 딘디 치온데가 람사 컨트롤라 레와 마겹스.
But what does it mean? It means that when someone criticizes you, when you meet with these people doing things that you don't like, that harm you, you don't respond immediately with anger.
다가 나신 그 소소래야 지금 등문 로 어딘지 강엔 로 어딘지 온데 람사 득촉촉 맞이스. 샘제 제촉촉.
And also when we meet with hardships in our lives, with hard situations or suffering, so we don't easily get into a bad mind space. We don't easily go into worries and fear, etc.
다가 나신 그 지금 팬도 그 자와 지인바이나 강이 몸보지 체결에 되나 람사 지금 탕체 cho촉 맞이스.
And also when we're trying to benefit other beings, when we're trying to help other beings, we're going to meet with a lot of problems, and we shouldn't be so easy to give up.
다 들리지 제나 들려야. 소바스.
And if we do like this, then we have patience.
다 파쇼디 소송 고르고 땅 되니 지어도 그는 고르고 땅게 요바 소소 그 신고게 시바 나신데 고군 고르고 올라 마테바지 제고야다 가라. 소바다 냠데 셰르고 냠네 요바이나 다가라네. 땅에 간이 지진이 고르고 올라 마테바지 제공도 대 소소 남조 베죠 땅이 콜라 렘볼로거나 가르치고나 제초고.
And when someone wants to fool off or wants to trick you, wants to manipulate you, so you can respond to the situation with the patience, not with anger, and also with the help of the wisdom that you have developed. So responding with this, then you can analyze the situation and you can reverse it and you can deal with the situation in an effective manner.
돈다 가르레지디가 파쇼 미디가 소달라 노바치온도 그런 거 나라 노바치위 자와가 차니 자와 듣게 이마이나 미코론가 란신등 나다 집과 대원도를 등을 먼저 봐요 손서 그 야시 야탐바 콜레야 데마지오지 나라 노바지야 되고 콘트롤 왕기 용기의 손사 저진이 콜레야라 오메바 딘디를 맞서 스테이트 삼로당 탐니나 딘디 토데 삼
And what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning is when a person does bad things towards us, then regarding the behavior of the person, so we make the difference. The behavior of the person, these are bad things, and these are things that need to be addressed. Regarding the nature of this person, who this person is the same as me. This person only wants to be happy, doesn't want to have suffering, and because of the anger or whatever afflictions, negative emotions this person has in his or her mind stream, this person acts involuntarily. Because of these bad conditions, this person causes harm to us. If we can think like this, then we can practice our patience.
제가 대인 손자 미티 란신다 미티 그 자와가 차니고 수수 체시바이나 가려 그래서 미티 그 자와 디 자와도 디자래 이마이나 미티 빼 게셰 야타마 미티 디자래 베스는 말해 야 그거 자와 차래야 장보에도 네바도 초니자라 따토 그래서
So basically, if we are able to differentiate, if you're able to see the difference between the nature of the person and the behavior or actions of the person, then you can easily differentiate, oh, the actions of this person, they're very bad. But the nature of this person, I cannot say that it's 100% bad. The nature is something different, who the person is. And also and then we can have a more open mind to analyze this person has bad actions, but also has good actions, etc.
어디 손자 다 돈다 거기 자와 디자데 목적체야 콜레야 가와죠 가르치고 대체바이나 이 콜레야 니지 마제와다 조바마고 뭐 큐니 차요 니버도 제고.
So basically, if we see these bad behaviors, these bad actions, we need to use whatever tools, whatever things we know to eliminate this or to avoid this or we need to deal with, we need to address these bad behaviors, and this doesn't mean that you're not being compassionate to this person.
That's all.
He was earlier, yes.
Did you have one as well?
No, but
I did, but
you
it's
were
okay.
earlier.
I had a short question and a bigger one.
Okay.
The smaller one was, could you please explain the symbolism of the moon and the Vajra? Because normally when I see the moon, it's always upright and behind the Buddha's head. And this time it's flat and in front. And I don't know anything about why a Vajra, why is it white, why does it have 5 spokes?
Okay. Kirantis Tawadam Doje Sun Kiran to Shigap to Nakasanam Jung at Tawatona, Tawadam Yundi, Gonsachogi, Good Gablola, Tigure, in Dila Tawad Dindayure, Nikarichian Deutsche Kringa, Mancariere, Tsering Karichi Dindayure, Sun Sundikiran to Shigap to Di Dawa and Dorje.
그래서 단다 맞아 남기 형다 다와 그 니니 그 코르모 트동지라 니니 어디 맞아 닌가라 상로다니가 니니 바 레벨 친 바. 딩고래야 도지데 맞아 다와 니니 다와 코르건디니 디가는 니니 지샤쇼라 우마다 다와 니니 친 수수기 닌가라 친 디가는데 돈다 도지 생각 나도 생각하다 디 이래 랑투스는 야랑 이리자 그래서
인시나는 그게 또 아니 가리치네 디 Dorje 가리치네 Daware.
다와디가 장주께서 총교였어. 도지디가 도지디가 돈도 비셔 다음에도 비셔 돈 총교.
Yeah, so basically this moon here that's like this in our heart, this white moon it represents as a symbol for bodhicitta, or for this mind. And the Dorje, the Vajra here on the top of this moon is the symbol symbolizes the wisdom of selflessness.
Yeah.
Your question is more like, why does it have 5 spokes, or why is it a moon? It's like this.
Yeah. Why are they both? Why a Vajra in the first
And then
place?
kung ito up na karichine Dorje, karichine Daware, karichine Gapore.
돈다 가르보세야 돼. 아주 가르임바이나 가르보세야 돼. 가른 총고려 빼나 가지고 보바가 양의 카더 저는 가르보 디니피어 니 셈도 싸마 싸냐 가르보 가이짱 디니 이 계란래야 봐. 90 싸마상양치 인사가 양 카더 가르보 디니 총고요.
So usually the white in Tibetan culture, the white symbolizes purity. So you have this very pure mind, it symbolizes very pure mind. And also you might have noticed with the katas, that they offer these scarves, the ceremonial scarves, the katas, they're usually white because we're saying that coming from a place of very pure respect, I offer to you this kata.
이바이나 단 촌돈 라만다 요비나는 가서 디디질라바이나 디 가르보 디 가른 총고레즈는 돈다 셈바 장주그 셈세야 셈바 상보이마 총고.
But here in this case of this white moon, this whiteness, this white moon is representing, symbolizing the good heart or the bodhicitta.
야, 되니 종이 다와 되니 샤롱데 간라야 답베스 가르즈 가서 차위랑신도 참마도 봐 되니 매버소니 시 가서 슬리랑신지 차기도
무슨 소용도.
다와 샤롱데 간라 가서 차와 차기려와 차와
차기래.
차보
차기래.
다와 매 다와 샤디 차보 차기래자메다 아주 차와로 차되요나 온다 다와 샤롱데 간라 스위랑시 차기래.
And also the symbolism of the moon. So when we are, for example, feeling very hot, we are feeling very, very hot. When the moon comes up, so it comes a coolness with this moon and it gives us a relief.
제 대나신가 장축그 셈고 냠리 술을 요바 있나요? 그 니티를 요바도 저 참마다 세와미 베랑신 그 돈이 안에 두그레야.
And for the person who has this practice of bodhicitta, for the bodhisattva, when he is among people, the people in his surroundings, they receive this, they feel very, they receive this coolness of this non-violent mind.
배나서 다시한다 배모모샤 고문군이 대단함살라 야로무치 야로지 손추틴 요반 미모모 지금 셈라 란싱 벨호시시 뇨다도 메바 데세 지 셈레 토나로 지 식체부 렙데야지.
We don't have to use many examples. We can see here in Dharamsala with His Holiness Dalai Lama, usually during his teachings or when he is in places, many people, they feel like their mind become with less problems, they feel a certain happiness in their minds and they're able to just stay listening.
다 dorjese 아들 한신 빼 참보 jandak shigmuto야.
And the Vajra, the nature of the Vajra is to be indestructible, is something that you cannot destroy.
뭐야? 딱 빼대 나신가 돈이 도비 셔럽세야 이거 남도 응암바당 디디고 빼 매버서 마탑게 돈이 도비 셔럽세야 돼. 그 록도다 남도 그라 누무탑게 어디니지?
And just like this wisdom of emptiness, it doesn't the discursive thoughts or the negative thoughts and all of these things, the negative minds, they don't have the power of destroying this wisdom.
빼나 말로서도이나 아주 컨트롤식 침보잖아. 게사 잔다도 컨트롤 매버서 시작해. 옛날에 소소게라 돈이 도비 셔럽요나? 아니 컨트롤식 침보 나나야 돈이 도비 셔럽도 매버서 두고 말해.
And just like this, for example, maybe you have heard that when anger arises in our minds or in our hearts, it has the power of destroying the virtue that we have. It has the power of destroying the positive minds that we have. But if we have this wisdom of emptiness in our minds, then even if we get angry, this anger is not stronger than the wisdom of emptiness. It cannot destroy the wisdom of emptiness.
Dor dijawena tonyo tobi sherab sayade anam tong ngamba da control sobi meba so tuk meba in sonza chakbo dorje na jiri.
In brief, because the wisdom of emptiness has this quality of not being destroyed by bad thoughts, negative thoughts, or anger, is like a dorje, is like a vajra, hard, very hard.
When Geshe spoke about reconnecting with your parents, what would his advice be for my sister, for example, who doesn't know her dad at all, but does know how to find him?
Does know how to find him. Ani pinakiran ngana so da pama la tewa so gore. Ani kirangi labsha pinangi nyaja da pala yomare pala
Koronga
kongi aja
la pala.
Kongi aja la pala yomare ina pala di zambling la yore. Tung so ina kongi pala kong kari Jomanyo.
Ale koronga
Dewa yomare ina yang kong gantas niegore di pala di shinyore I kongi aja shinyore pala gantas niegore gantas tugore jogore. Ako sai. Shire. Ikangi lapcha kare de kong tseo gore be pala tseo gore be yang na dewa sogomare.
Ne ta pala kawayo hago gamara.
Dada ko yomare nang gantas
Ko drong yore drong
yomare.
Jamuli la yore. Ina kono kawayo hago gamara.
Your sister knows where he is?
Yeah, but she's never met him.
Hako yore. Kawayore hako.
Ale
Ina tumanyo.
Antomanyo. Koroni korongo dewa so samnan ngone. Tanda koron pa amame pala yona. Ane panza dewa so tamnan yakshar. Dekansa dewa mazo ayina yo so semtini pala gar kadin tembi toni. Ane pena ngazo ta zu de de da we. Chano zo hago we. Ngazo lende libo ji do de. Shara duji ji pombo. De susani orez nangar zo pama nisani yungu yo sonza. Cheza di chani ngazo le luten zawa chimbo diji tenye to sores so pama ni so di chani kadin 토바이나 마도 맞아 양가 저한테는 말아야 되는 건 대화서 요 말이 그 디카레 되라고도
I think the best would be if she has the opportunity to establish this connection, this relationship and meet. I think that would be the best. But even if she doesn't establish the connection in this way, I think to practice remembering the kindness of the father and to create this relationship, this connection inside, because the main thing of remembering the kindness, the main thing is this body. So how does this body came to us? How did we receive this meat, this blood, these bones? So all of these things, they came because of your thanks to your father and your mother. Many people they say, oh, but my father did so many bad things, so then it's a bad person and da. But the main thing is that we can recollect the fact that we received this body. You ask for my advice, but in my own life, when I was a child, I only had the love of my mother. I never had the love of my father. And also when I was a child, apart from my mother, I never also gave any love to my father. I never.
No,
and then later in my life, I could have some connection with my father. So it came a little bit the feeling of this connection, feeling a little bit close to my father, but I still didn't think, oh, my father. I still didn't had this feeling. So the main thing for me were my teachers that gave me, that educated me, that taught me all the Buddhist treatises.
치드 귀신이나 용치무 용라 로종치 되는 정도 가나 되니 오늘 파마도 가든 친구이 뭐 서로
So because of this education I received, because of being exposed to these Buddhist treatises, then later in my life it came this feeling of being very grateful for both my father and my mother.
어디 인선다 지 가자로 친구 메와이나 그런 거 발랄 파한데어서니 오늘 파마제도 오늘 지 가라세 알로니에다 되는 난도 파쇼 파마다 고조 이름 마틱 디가나 파마다 부드냐 두고디가 부디 소절라 빨라 아말라 라브로 마치 아니 빼강이 다빼 고조 빼 답시진 파쇼디 소절라 빨라 아말라 람나 빼 그런 빨라 다말라 서로 빼기고 용어야 드리고 그 때문에 드리도 때문에 드리 고조 알로니 잡근도 고조 셉근도 때문에 인도아 때문에 하고서
때문에 그러니
쟁이 깨 차상 고요사 말다 왜
자상에 거마서 무슨다
가르레즈나 때문에 가시 나노라 진주 간이 파마다 카트 하고서 왔다 아니 파리제 제모 자로디 가나 빨라게 그런 부위마다 하고 그래서 좀 어디가 나처럼 그 빨라래 나처럼 아말라래 다시 부디 원래 지금 부디 가르서 공나 춘주가는 게 아빨라 아말라 요 말에 그런 삼대오라 아니 그저 배 답신다 말이지 갑질라 그런래 대체 셈식 레온이가 근데 부디 나라 빨라디 나라처럼 빨라랍쇼 아마디는 나라 아말라랍쇼 람나 아니 부디 라우로 제고 버려 라우로 마지나 파마니 셈페 펑거 다임바이나 아니 갑질라 부디가 빨라 아말라 아시니 라우로 제나 아니 그저 배 셈레야 배 기고 싶어 차요 그래서 딜릭 원년한 딜릭 그저 탭근도 하지
So I think that if there are not major obstacles, if there are not too many obstacles, I think it's nice to have this connection with the father. And it reminds me of a movie I watch sometimes in movies. There are situations where the kid from very early on it's separated from the mother or the father, and then later in life as years pass by they meet again, and then many times usually there is a drama, so the kid cannot say father, cannot say mother, because the kid doesn't feel the connection or the relationship. But then eventually the story goes on, and then the kid says, and then the son says, oh, father, mother, and then it's a very beautiful moment in the movie, and the father and mother is very happy. So we have these movies.
임바이나 때모레다 이나야
But this is
무용 나서 멋세가 나오는 딜리가 무슨 종어야 돼. 그 때문에 탭샤.
But in real life it can happen like in these movies.
어때 나중에 저런 것들 아직 양 바바 지니 양 가자 로요나 샤 가자 메와이나 저저 nendewa지 다 가자 로요나 다른 분이 저저 빨라게 제와데 봐야 저저 그 지금 semazam부터니 다른 분이 니제고 니 제잖아 되거리.
So if there are not many problems, if there are not many obstacles or many things not okay with the relationship, if there are many obstacles, then maybe if there are many obstacles, then maybe she can leave and just practice within herself, recollecting the kindness of the father, trying to create have this compassion, this connection in her own heart. If there are not many problems, many obstacles, then I think it's worth it to make the connection. Rika has sorry. Rika has a question for Lama. He said you, so you go.
When I contemplate or meditate on bodhicitta and emptiness, sometimes I feel very happy, a lot of joy. But then I contemplate all of the suffering, and it feels like a contradiction. It's like hard to believe that all of that suffering is coming from just misperceiving reality. And it feels like too easy. And how can I develop like really strong faith in the understandings of emptiness and bodhicitta?
Develop faith in the fact that because of out of ignorance comes all of the sufferings.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the question, I'm sorry, it's sort of a nebulous question.
Very, very well said, to be honest.
So if you can.
How do I resolve the conflict between the happiness that comes from contemplating bodhicitta and emptiness and the pervasive suffering of the whole world?
Yes, so when you practice, you feel this happiness and this feeling of joy when you practice bodhicitta and emptiness. But is it a feeling of guilt because of all
Really a
this?
guilt. It's like, feels like a contradiction, like a paradox. Like, well, how can they both exist? And it makes it hard to trust the emptiness in the bodhicitta.
But you feel like you shouldn't be happy with this practice or no? No.
No, it just makes me, it's like doubting the truth of it. So now,
okay. Okay.
Dongba Nigorla Samotanga.
Good.
Deyakpo Chakile.
대화식지고 연기를
Ine Detu Dungan Mongomongor.
예, 점링가 스진 담지 동계 뼈만 보여야.
Dimi I don't know how to say this. It's like it's a contradiction.
디니 개와도 버려. This
Which one you should be feeling?
No, it's I'm sorry, it's a very
Can I,
subtle
can I
question.
explain this question?
Oh,
maybe it
And
is better.
it's sort of a contradiction, and it makes me not trust the bodhicitta.
Di kingi benar di 개와도 버려 benar 점링 라 중가 뭐 버려 yang di 정생 동 bani samlo tana 대화식지 보용기래. 아니 di kingi 아니 정생 동 bani la 이체 투기면 다디 그래. 예, 발치도 버려.
oh. Tā te kā rē, kērāng kā tōngpa nī tāng chāng chī kui sīm lā samlo tāng yā tā kērāng chī kui chē tē na, tā kā rāng gīwā chā rō kore. Kērāng kā samlo tāng tāng tē, ngā rōng lā kī kō yōng, ngā rōng lā dī kō yōng wī chī tā ngā tōngpa nī gōng kī, chāng chī kui sīm gōng kī zin, chāng chī kui sīm tsī nī bā chā gō mā tā.
So if you're thinking when you're practicing, if you have the perspective when you're practicing emptiness and bodhicitta, if you're practicing for your own benefit, if you're thinking about your own benefit, then it's not okay. Then it doesn't become a practice fully qualified.
제사 랑신 돈 라브드브치 장주스의 기브르기 야원무치 때문에 가르에서 저런 거 동반이 고미야다 장주그 심 고미야다 장기 체되나 다가라 코니 다가라 점물이라 등물 뇽이 망보요 손자 다트서 치스 딘디 등물 뇽 마고 와지 그 타블로 돈 텀니지 나치 삼디가나 개엄도.
But if you have clear in your mind, as His Holiness said before, so if you have clear in your mind that this practice they are in order to fix, in order to solve this problem of suffering in the world, then this you have a connection. Then you practice all of these things in order to clear the suffering.
빼나 롱바디나노라 빼 맹가야 보면도 멤바야 보면도 디엔소자 네바드소라 멘주 야고지 제트비 체드 난 니버트 멤바 야고지 제기 제디간라 데 디삼로데 코 네바츠고 체드 인손자 삼로 야가레도
For example, if in this country, in our region, there are not good doctors and people are getting sick and becoming very sick, so you can have this feeling, because of all the sick people, I am going to engage in this practice. I'm going to become a doctor. And then if we do like this, if we do thinking on the benefit of others, it's better.
야나 빼 갸르캅티가 미몬도서 라 강이 시부지도 미몬도서 라 빼 데도 딘디그 빼 강에도서 세르트비 체도 난 니버다 갸르캅티 뽐보치기 삼나 딘디그 나 뽐보치기 삼비 삼로데 미몬게 체들도.
And just like this, if we are able to have the thought that because of the inhabitants of this country, because of the citizens of this country, I am going to work hard in order to become the president of this country and benefit these people, that's a very, very noble thought.
빼나신가 장주고 셈세야 돼요. 그 셈제 등물 용이 몸보여서 그저 등물이 cap투비 체도 난 니버다 장주고 공부토가 제기
And just like this, seeing all the suffering of all the sentient beings, all the vast sufferings of the sentient beings, then you get the conviction that the determination to practice bodhicitta and emptiness in order to achieve enlightenment and help other sentient beings.
다 둥얼리 타리비 탑람 가르된 거고 시디가 수다 스님바이나 자와데 뉴모도 마마마 티고디가 단자를 티용고서 단자 메바소라 고 단자 메바소비 탑람도 양 야고지 땡시고요 손자 소소가 디그 체디요 다음에도 공고요.
And what are the causes? So if we need to find methods to clear away all the suffering that we perceive, if we have to find the methods, and if we identify that the root of all the suffering is the self-grasping, then we need to practice ourselves. We need to practice this. We need to understand this wisdom of selflessness in order to deal with these sufferings.
다 dinilaya ngone dona ngaso samlo tawndi ko soso lusim nikale ludan sim nikin chorten dan soso semba kibo chongada ta soso ngone janju ko semda zola ani chiklojon je nyamle chiaga soso kepsang chikrita.
And it's true that when we practice this thing, when we practice bodhicitta, the mind wishing to benefit others, and emptiness and the view of selflessness, it's true that our health is going to improve. We're going to become happier and happier. And these are all profits that you get.
다 이마에 내가 저 삼로 직 당고에 직 가리오레스 디건 베나 녜디니 니지 첨부 공부이나 버쇼 심진 나 데니 당 어디니 베 명강나라 라데니 또수 상마가 나사들 람사 야 장도야도 디니 마타나 다 녜니지 공야 초문도 삼바도 어디니 상로 다잖아 저기요 맞다.
But what we have to think too, that because we're here meditating on this great compassion, we have this great compassion, and then there are people in the hospital there, and because we're meditating this great compassion, it's not healing directly the sickness of the sick people in the hospital. Then because of this is a useless practice, we cannot think that.
다 펜도 제단 가르레스 디건 베나 야르무 제도이나 니 리틴딜라 단달로 네 자다다 주 종아 딜라 니 토니 미망보지라 펜도 제 투사레스 디간라 펜도 제서 데 무게 맹강나라 니 데니 네바도 소다 아니 우글람칼라 론데니 방고도 소야 치부소 투사레 맹강나라 조니 맹강 조니 잠불레 맹강 조니 먹어서 나사 네바 참마다 딱 토야 조토그레진 대송고 말바.
And how is it beneficial? So His Holiness, he says that he is going to stay still in this earth for 10 or 15 or more years, and he says that this because there's going to be a lot of benefit for this world. But is His Holiness going to eliminate sickness in the world? Is he going to make hospitals not necessary anymore? Is he going to go and help sick people? It's not like this.
오늘 가르에스디 그런 거 로종지 냠레지와 나신 그런 거 저 가상 지송소 대고 나나 가요 받은 게 견어들마 다가지 대장발라 샤그메스 나로 텔라 로종지 냠레지 나라 초르와 좀 디기 견어서야 대나신 로종지 냠레지 딜 제바이나 견어주 다주 담보텔레 견어주 심벌 홀로다 심벌 고양보 차그레스 견어주 라로 소소 미레레레레 딘디지니 고양보 차송바이나 거기 니트 자단 지금도 소인 바이나 로보다 기부 차그레스 다 대나신 그 미치니 니니 something이니 고 답시다 디니게 냠렌 발랍통나 갈래 미치 그 셈바지로와다 니그 셈바지로와다 디니지나 셈가 나사마모지 단도야 그래와 되죠.
So what did he say? He said that because of his practice, so he said yesterday that he's not just teaching the words of the text, he's not just teaching the text. He said that he has studied the text, he has practiced the text, and experience has a reason. So he had feelings, and out of these experiences that he got, he is teaching. And what is the hope? What is the hope of His Holiness? Is that what he can do, he can turn just like what I have right now, just what I have. So if you do this and this and this, and I show you how to do this, how to get this, then you also can get this. And the more you get this compassion, and the more you get this practice, then you're also going to start telling other people. You're going to be able to guide other people into how to go about with life, how to do things. And then these people, they're going to tell 2 people, 3 people, and like this, his hope is for this to spread to more people. These experiences, these feelings, these positive emotions. So now it's 7 and 5, 6.
Gisela, one last question.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. There's Rika. She's waiting for a long time here. Sorry, it's a big tag. Sorry. Rika, sorry, I'm here. Hi, Geshe. It seems easy to develop the wish of this. I'm going to read. Hi, Geshe. It seems easy to develop the wish of other sentient beings and help them, but I often find myself missing the wisdom to actually help. If I try to connect this to the idea of emptiness and nothing exists inherently, it gets more complicated. Because all this tries to help are only conventional ideas. So questions come up: where is the solution to the problem? Does it even exist? Is it possible to help at all? Or is it just useless try because the problem is empty and the potential solution as well? So how to actually connect the compassion with the emptiness and the emptiness with the wisdom? Okay. Kila ani suggestion ba rokpa chea ngandopa di geya ngala lela poyore. Dinga chetu bio. Ina yang shiram ngala me kantas alon kari pecho tangore kantas ngone kantas mission rokpa chea gore. Ani nganti samtu di dang tongpani yang jawa soya koko jogire gale kapoyore ina tongpani ishirap toning mission pala rokpa chea gire di jawa di soya lela po yomare gale kapoyore. Ani dopa yongire ngone daune karen tablam yang dapa yorepe nganan so mission pala pache sipare yang nami sipare di chome parepe di dopa shukchen po levgire chome parepe kain sinan chichna gangel di tompare ani tablam yang tompare ani dene ngone daune Ningje dam tompani dam sherapti kantas dewa sogore.
다 담보 될래야 동바 레제 데 가상가마니 주어나 동바 레제 데 베데가 메바 메창 주보라 나시레진 데 고소나 다가랑 데와서 두 말에.
So first of all, about what you said about emptiness. So if you understand that something is empty and it means that it doesn't exist, just like a horn of a rabbit doesn't exist, that's wrong understanding. Then you cannot make the connection.
셈제 동바니레 니제 동바니레스 두곤 셈제 요마레 니제 요마레 랍잖아. 제와소사 메와코롱 메나 제와소야 조시기마로.
So if we think that sentient beings are empty or compassion is empty or these methods are empty and therefore they don't exist, then of course we cannot make the connection if they don't exist.
그래서 대연소자 아주 남기니 종다 담아디니 온데 셈지 이날에 니제 이날 랑신지 동바레 지금도마도 메바레 지금도 니제 요마레 셈지 요마레 라고도.
So because of this in the text they say that compassion, it doesn't inherently exist. Sentient beings don't inherently exist, but it doesn't say that they don't exist.
No, 제가 대연소자 고 랑신지 메짱 요 어때고 그래서 셈지 이날 랑신지 메짱 요 니제 이날 랑신지 메짱 요 땡이벌 고토.
So they have no intrinsic existence, but they exist. Sentient beings have no intrinsic existence, still they exist.
단데네 그런 잘라 펜도 제가 삼루트 베 리라우토니 게투두자 very good.
If it seems easy, if it's easy to develop the wish to help other sentient beings, very good.
다 임바이나 양아 때 제가 쉐르미두스 다 쉐르메바이나 제가 쉐르도 장고레스.
And if it feels that it's lacking the wisdom in order to actually help them, then we need to develop this wisdom. And how do we develop this wisdom? We study. So for example, regarding the wisdom of selflessness, so we need to study the text that explain to us about selflessness and emptiness. And not only the text, if we have the opportunity to rely on teachers and good teachers who can explain to us, make the meaning easier for us to understand. So the more we study, then it's a method for us to develop our wisdom more and more.
그래서 미 잔달라더니 펜동문이 제토그레베 데 주마레모도 가서 무슨 통해도 배나 나마 여러모시다가니 집에 직장 엄마 이마이나 단디네 거라 여러모시자도 되니 민니가 쳔모지 배나 들이 손주 거셔도 온데가 야코 가서지 야코 배 만다바 쉽지 납치 들이 미 좀요레스 다 미나 뭐보도 just dingy solea pendo chetudo. The Zumarimdo. Or then I Maricho Yimbaina, Lojonje, Yamle, Dindi, Zundi, Dindi Jivaina. One is a child.
And then if you think that these solutions, for example, the solution of the wisdom of selflessness, of emptiness, if this is fake or if this is not a real solution or question the existence, this is something that we can see. For example, before me and His Holiness, we were exactly the same. But His Holiness says because of this practice, because of getting used to this, then our situation nowadays is not the same anymore. And also we can see it by the way he acts or the things he say or the benefit that he brings people, the fact that he can benefit a vast amount of people, we can see that there's a difference, that there was an effect to his practice. So just like this, if we study, if we practice, we can also get this effect. So if anyone has to go, maybe you want to have a dinner, so please feel free to go. It's already past the time of the class. Don't feel afraid to just walk away.
Ani young Kerang Rangatinis Koron Samlo Tambain, Pena Gishi Sogada, Gishi Rabdenila, Koronga, Inji, Konila Lagoro. They are Pendor, Janala Pendor.
So for example, about the ways of helping other beings. So I heard that you are helping Geshe and Geshe Rabden with English because you know English. You're helping sentient beings. You're helping them. So you have the power to help people, right? And if you help and if you teach 2, 3, 4, 5 people, then you only benefit more sentient beings.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask about the emptiness because His Holiness, I think said today, be aware of that without me, there is no existence.
Without me, without His Holiness or without it?
No, without me as a person, for me, for my reality, there is no existence. So I was saying something about that. So I wanted to ask if he can really say what's all about this emptiness.
What is all about emptiness? So today His Holiness said that for me, in my opinion, like or my perspective, there is no existence.
Yes, I understood that he said be aware of without for the person itself, there's no existence.
Com Tsering concept de leçon de da mena nga mena sipa yomare sipa me pare. Quindi l'option. Sipa me pare.
Sipa Zina?
Sipa sena.
Dochari Korore. Sarata Saki Sitere.
Kongi Hakotan de Koi Samare. Do you understand this existence as a cyclic existence or no? Or just general in general?
It's like for me a general existence. So without
Sipa. Kari yore. Yopa yomare tabore. Chu yomare. Kon koa de and you say about emptiness, sorry.
Yeah, so and how does it connect with emptiness or what's can really precise about what's the emptiness? You know,
ni sipa yomare on dit love song and it compagnie d'un tewa kariore qui on dit tiste shakaptuna
Tachijena Tati Nia Tini Roda Tana Sonjuna, Young Tremba Jesona, Karina Hakumasua. Yimayina. Da Mena, Ani Tiniga Siba Yomarino, Tinisoya, Daza, Tika Daza, the Kares, Nata, Kanzata, Kibu, Tanya the Yubi Dat. Tanya the Yubi Dat Mena, Namjasama, Yomarita. Datela, Yubi Dachida, maybe Dachi, ni some
Yupedamina.
Yubi date mena, and in Namja Sama Yoman. So they were the doomers at the unit.
So maybe I have forgotten exactly this quote that you're saying that he has said. But in general, so there are 2 types of I, of self. There is an I that exists and there is an I that doesn't exist. So the I that exists only as a conventionality, only as a term, a word. Yeah. So if this I that exists doesn't exist, then all other things, they also doesn't exist. For example, happiness, suffering, all of this doesn't exist.
现在我说大有没是大的主要有嘛的是对大是个最奇怪，把大个大最奇怪，因为呢大的天性爱讲的，ko nga de du nyo bi nga kan la le won de kan la ya da kan yo ba de ha ko so ina da ki yo no chi da ling bo ya na da chuk tuk de ba o de la won de kan la di da de me ba de se ko de yo bi da me bi da to na ni
So this I that we say many times, we say that this I is not intrinsically existent, or it doesn't exist in an independent way, and we also say of the I that exists as a conventionality, as a term that is imputed. Yeah, so we use the same word, we use the word I, but this I that is only a name, this exists. So that we have to differentiate. There's an I that exists and an I that doesn't exist.
yang dan yang page de so la de ze li la wo do so yo da ga so page pen rawang sa chi do rawang sa de kiran so la jana kiran so la rawang yo re na la jar jana rawang yo ka reason na la dan da yami pe ni rawang chang man tho ni na la rawang yo che ze rawang sa chi ni do rawang ti chi ni bu de kiran so la jana yes you're imba inaya rawang shi bi chi ni kan la chi jar on de kan la rawang yo
So I just remember one example, one thing that to say. So if you get this word if you get this word independence, so if we put this word onto you as an independent, so then it's okay. If I put this word on myself, independent, it's not okay, because we are not independent as a nation, as Tibetans. You are independent.
ina nge di rawang sa de yang nga zu jik de yong da rawang sa de pe la jan kian so de zo lo le cher de bo yong na sam de pe chi de so de
I thought of this example because this is a way that we use this word independent in the word, so maybe it was helpful to understand the word.
o de na ji da za de yang ngai kan ko na dan de zo on de kan da yo bi da re se da za de rawang ka za de chuk to ba na chuk to ba za de ma zo la na wa dan za la na wi na di kan la kin do na me ba nga chuk to ba nga de du nyo pu nga da nyam do de wa zo on de kan da ki rawang za de pe to kung ko le na yo ba ni kan me kina me ba pe de na je da ji bi chuk de na kanza nyam de chona yo ba imba inayo da za de rawang yu da yana chuk to ba le chuk to de yo ba de na chuk to de yo ba za de dan je so na da me ba.
Okay, so just like the independent, the word independent, if I put to you, then it's an existent, it's something that exists, this independence. If I put to myself, it's a non-existent, so the same word. So in the same way, the I, so the I, if I put this I into the person, there is a person, there is an I that exists. If I put this I into an I that can be by itself, an I that can exist alone, can stand by itself, independent, this I doesn't exist. I don't know if it was your question.
Can you clarify what His Holiness was referring to, if that helps?
Okay.
It was very briefly, but it was regarding how the observer and the observed are two halves of the same thing.
Okay. 네, 거기 공사처리 공배나
Something like two sides of the same coin.
유전 등유 유전면나 유 말이
안들이 다
일러서.
예. really you me na you me ta kana
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Then it's this. If there's no subject, then there's also no object. There's no object, there's no subject. Yes.
That's the sentence he was asking.
Okay.
you ta you che da ten rin yin song zang ta kana chi me na
They live independence to each other. So they live independence to each other. Yeah, the subject and the object. The object is defined by having a subject, and the subject is defined by having an object.
that's all
Hence, His Holiness has spoken a lot about human psyche, means the psychology of our mind. And in many of his speeches, he has said that it is very important that we understand the working of our own mind, which even Geshe has also said, like understanding how our mind works. Something like an eye consciousness of how our mind works. So, in such context, the understanding the nature of not just our mind, but the other person's mind is important to, because for instance, I want to, Fidgo, you have spoken about nature, behavior and actions, right? And to understand these two things, right?
Nature and behavior. Yeah, behavior and action, I said is the same.
Right. So I just want to know one thing. To understand the other person, is it important to understand the nature of his mind or his nature? For example, if a person is angry naturally, then any situation which causes anger, he or she might become easily angry, or similar situation. So is it important to understand the nature of the mind, psychology of the mind, which His Holiness has said, understanding the workings of our mind is it important?
Okay, it's important to understand our psyche, the way our mind works, and is it important to understand the way other people's minds work?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. Just repeating to see if I actually understood. Yeah. Negon sa chuga tuina kong ganon sugi sem kam sem dotang haku gore. Sem dotang haku gore. Ani mi pagi sem yang dotang haku gore be di gyaltsen yore be. Esan ganon sugi sem hakoya gyaltsen yore. Ina mi pagi sem dotang hakoya gyaltsen yore be. Di ganon so.
하정의 기체모 아주 감당 무발의 두니 아니 콜레야 로종테 고레라도 배는 아주 겐라지 마이나 로트초레 로트초고 삼로 참마 하마고 나야 갈라 간성고 토니 로트초고 삼로 데제 하고비 토니 로 콜라 라바이나 로트라 망아 펜도 용도
Yeah, it's very important because the way that we help other people too, the way that we, for example, we give teachings or we give advice to other people, we try to help other people with words, we give advices, it's according to the inclinations and the character of the person, according to the mind of this person. So for example, a teacher, if he's not going to know 100%, usually not 100% the mind of the student, but if he understands how the student thinks and what's going on in the mind of the student, then he can much more effectively help the student.
So how
penangado ibaina ta for gumbana deni mikya tinani chijir tsula lotiche nyamnyo chiyo ane chisanga deleleni Julia anyoshi Julia ani chijega samlo tangdan de yore delateni chana yang kaje dan de chena yabo yore siti ta me chijiso samlo samada ha ko martina Julia ngala de kaje shebada tini ti ngala pendo yang pe mamucho.
So, for example, when I was in the monastery and I was studying in the monastery, I never had met a foreigner. I didn't know what were foreigners, how did they think, or what was going on with them. So when I got here to the library and I started to teach foreigners in the library, so Julia, maybe you have met her, the previous translator in the library, she came to me and she taught me, okay, so the foreigners, they think like this, they have these problems, they do things like this. And I still cannot really understand the foreigners. I cannot say I understand the foreigners, but I think now I can use this. It's very beneficial for me to use what she said for me to teach.
Time for one more?
Yes.
Yeah. I got some items blessed by His Holiness today. But I learned in Tushita that it's impossible, maybe it doesn't apply to certain levels of realizing people with certain levels, but it's impossible, at least generally, for one human being to affect the karma of another. So if that's the case, what does the blessing actually do?
아니 두시더랑은 찍는 정이 배나 미션바 나는 저길리 기와탕 투비요 말에
리보
Ngosgille.
le
Gyaltsen to biomare. De penatering di consacho ki chinlab. So pena gagaw lang su jok segang la. Penam tengwa karina di shakide ani kong chinlab. nangire. 아니 근데 팅랍데 간tas 그래서 간tas 엔토 팽기래. 그래서 간tas 팽기래. 그래서 그래서 냠냠 쉐그래. 이죠.
다 절름새야 저 저도 보게 로마도 절라 다 이치에 요구 거래 아니 라마들이야 아니 디니가 디닌진다 다 데라서 비누바 디니소 좀바이나 다 문이 절름새야 디가 니바데요 고
이래.
가라서 니바도 라토비야지 용거래.
Yeah, so for the blessings, so from one side you need to have the trust of the student, and on the other side you need to have this power of concentration of the Lama, of the teacher. And if these two come together, then these blessings have some power.
야, 맨날 저러더래. 네 만일 네 소소가사 아니 묵다도 저로 또더니 소소 참바 만나와다 아니 묵도서 만나와라 빼면서 편도치도 가르레즈디 간데 조야다 멘사가 조샤 요레다 이나야 콜레야 나저 좀 몸보사 데리치니 고 데레야 지 절럽치 yap샤요 송자 아니 데레데니 빼양 고 편도치도 누가치 콜레 누가치도 데레야 절럽세 콜레 누가치 요야들 절럽 진나
그 숨어서 거다 기량연길.
내 마네로 버와 내가 소사나 소 이치요비도 내산나 차마 마나와다 묵마나와라 소가다 뭐뭐 팽기요레스 니바디 어디 니바들라 돈다 절럽세 데 가라 조야들 멘사 소샤 줄때
멘사.
멘사
멘사.
멘사 디니고 소샤 임바 이나요 텔레야 마소 좀 몸보사 마네다 디니 몸보사니 콜레 절럽들 조샤에서 땡가 조사와이나 나 펜도지 요레스.
So, for example, this is called money pills. I think this money pills. So they're said to help with if we have the trust. It's said to help with for example, if you get a cold, or it's said to help with any eye sickness. So they're all made of herbal medicines, but there are blessings here inside, and they are beneficial, basically.
다 남진이 배 가르샤비오서 배나가 좀 고르메 하고 어려운 거 고나디 멘토도 고르메 르부지도 디 지샤 참아 당알라테 대소야가 주 참아 알라테 녜테 나신 거 르부지 소아이나 멘지 소아이나 쳔이 파조디 고 나살레 쳔이 뱅어 가르스나 나라 디니가 메소비 누바도 메인소자 제 참아 등에 테테다니 소아이나 디가 골 팽거 말해
Quella penguin che 생기는 소당.
ngala ti sobi niba de meyin sonza ni zo shinga meyin sonza ta de zo shinga memba chi ko men zo shinga te je sama de te dangja de kan ma zo te sa wena ma zo ngola ta da pengdo o de pemi niba de la ta dona ma zo chu ni shena chelobse ta chelob ma ze na niba de te niba ko ngola pemi go na san pemi niba chi do te le ya dona chelobse.
So basically, so there are medicines, for example, we take when we have a headache. And these medicines are beneficial for us. But if I have all the ingredients to make this headache medicine, because I don't know how to make them, they're not going to be beneficial.
Donda chin love zitiga nipi gyurwa niba digtoni gyurwa menga niba toni nasate neme bala tombo na gona yona gomechi zawaina 디그 제 디그 누바가 돈이 고 나사 메바소샤 기로다죠 누비 기로라 실럽 고소
누비 기로라
누바 여와 누바 디그 돈이 바쇼도 기로다 동아들라 신랍.
So basically the meaning of blessings is to make something, for example, with the medicine, you make the ingredients, you get all the ingredients, and you transform it into something that will have a potential, that we have some power. So basically, the blessings it collects, it turns into something with a potential or power. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's so clear.
그나저 저것도디 갈라 저것도기 갈래야 아니 비자야 다시 사샤웨나 비자게 누가 되고 저거 또 와대 저거 마또 뭐 봐주셔 그때 그때야 비자게 질러버리.
For example, the blessings of the pizza. The blessings of the pizza is when it comes down to our stomachs and we're hungry. So this hunger is eliminated by the power of the blessings of the pizza.
So should I be meditating with it, or what do I do with the blessed items?
다 그나 여러 지 딩인즈나 장주고 생나 데리고 돈이 봐줘. 내 그런 거 니바도 대응 가나요? 봐줘대. 구바마 보이 마치바이 마칸실라. 요 구바마 보니 여러 뭐지 절로 포사지 절로 맛 포사지 요바이나 딩이네 잡으려. 잡으려 마데 즉시 야 나도 못 줬지.
Yes, exactly, because of the
ngalmin도.
exactly because of the
나도 보기 로줘라. 아니 여러 뭐지 Junior
Get on with it. Get it on. So yeah, because of the practice of his holiness, mainly because of the practice of his concentration and bodhicitta, so he put some influence into these items. And if you get, for example, one yellow or pink in this case, a line that was not blessed by his holiness or anyone, and you get another one that was blessed, there is a difference. There is a difference in that.
무슨 가라 통요래지 무슨 딘디 통케 원나위 가라 통케 내가 좀 뒤에 뽕발은 딘디 따게 따니 목이 메가나로 되가라 아니 콜라 컵 잡되가라 컵 주니 zero 오는 컵 딘지 컵 주니 아니 멤버도 되니 다 굳이 저데 송게도 되지 마 비로지 아니 송게 마 비니 딜레샤니 되니 컵 잡도 따다 zero 딘디 몸보죠.
So in my region, we have the tradition of living this red. How do you say this?
Red injection?
No, the red, not this one. This thing. Cords, yeah, this red cords. We have the tradition of put them here in our arms, like a bit tight.
Yeah.
So when we go to the doctor, to the hospital, and they need to give us an injection, it doesn't go inside the injection because of this. So they tell us to remove this cords, so then the injection can enter.
Tate nashi loji pe share, jami pe popa solo pe menda jami tini chiri kana, yang tini chelo yosa, ngasom son sen tini yore, pasho menda de tini jamna susu sigola mateya. Ta tini kun son yabo yo tini tusu pe jami ke menda jami pe tilo tusu sama chin tini ma menda kun digi tusu pe sha ma tini ma lude imba ina kolar ma chuni zo matawa tini mombo yo.
And also something that happened in Tibet, is because of some blessings or blessed items, I think. Some blessings. So there were some blessings that were made for when the Chinese shoot at you, so this bullet won't enter you. And it happened that people were shot and they didn't get hurt.
다 치스 되는 게 절럽 소소데 다 동화 옛날에 뜻을 아산다가 탁노 게 야나 미미샤나가 될래야 라관창 되리 제와이나요 고니바드 냠로야 되냐.
And also this blessed items if you get into relation, like if you get in the proximity of someone or if someone touches you, it also is influenced by this blessing. There's a lot to be said about this, but we don't have time.
Yeah.
So they did different things, right? They do lots of stuff, basically.
Then Jinlab did so the jelly mitrawa young yere. And Jinlab did so jelly mitrawa yere. Yes, there are different functions, different things that the blessings do. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank
you for paying attention. I'm very happy that you paid attention. So at the end we do some prayers.
That's all to che.
Thank you.
That don't is the gonna Sanji Junde Nigajar Muchela, a Gabuchea de Tony Tobi Shero, the Janju Sim Kong Yamne Lojo Chini, Kona Gabucho. 다 맞죠 단다 델레 추조 다기 추조가 제가니 단다 버도 칼레 잡사 카르칼리 잡으러 맞죠 장주고 생도 돈이 콜라 맞죠 롤리 체인 손자 다 야오는 부치가 맞죠라 돈라 맞죠 배가고 무니
So the meaning is, as His Holiness said today in the morning, that because of his study and practice of bodhicitta and emptiness, so the Buddha Shakyamuni was very happy when he saw Buddha Shakyamuni. He was very happy at him. So just like this, what have we done now for the last 1 hour and a half, 2 hours already? We have studied, we have tried to understand and practice bodhicitta and emptiness. And because of this, of course, His Holiness and the Buddha Shakyamuni, they're very happy at us.
가르람나 야오는 부치들이 오지라서 아니 돈이 콜라 아니 로종치 냠레치 쇼스 장주고 심 콜라 냠레치 쇼 로종치 쇼 손자 비송바나지 가서 라랭도 나가서 저희는 간답치도 그도 라랭기요 손자 콘라 초가 야쇼 콤페나솔 트니쇼 자고다.
And today, the main advice of His Holiness, what he was telling us is study about emptiness, try to understand emptiness, study bodhicitta, try to practice bodhicitta, and he told us to do this. So now that we are actually doing this, we are actually following his advice. That's the best offering. That's the best gift we can give him.
그렇지나
Thank you.
그렇지나
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Pedro.
데모 자자자
Obrigado. De nada.
지나다 오brigado 지나다
Thank you, Geshe.
그렇지나
Obrigado.
아니 이제 그
Anyone want to get there?